The celebration glittered under the chandelier of the Meridian Hotel's penthouse. Ethan Cole's promotion party buzzed with lawyers, judges, and city elites. At just 35, he had become the youngest partner at the firm of Blackwell and Reed. This, their father declared proudly, raising his glass, is what real success looks like. Around them, applause rippled. His sister, Lila, smiled politely, champagne in hand. She'd heard the same speech all her life. Ethan, the golden child. Ethan, the one who made all the right choices. No one ever asked what she did. They simply assumed it wasn't much. Lila, you came? Ethan's voice boomed across the room as he approached with his fiancée, Amanda, both dressed as if they'd stepped out of a lifestyle magazine. Didn't think you'd make it. Don't you have that website thing you're always tinkering with, he teased. Wouldn't miss your big night, she said warmly, hugging him. Congratulations, partner. Thanks, sis. Come, meet the team. He led her to a small group of senior partners, all expensive watches and sharp smiles. Everyone, Ethan said proudly, this is my little sister, Lila. She works in tech. Mostly from home. Ah, one of those, chuckled Gerald, a silver-haired partner. What kind of tech, dear? I run a fintech company, StreamPay, Lila replied calmly. We build secure payment systems for e-commerce. Gerald nodded vaguely. My nephew makes apps too. None of it ever lasts, does it? Ethan laughed. She's been doing her laptop thing for years. Still waiting for it to take off. Lila just smiled. If only they knew. What none of them realized was that StreamPay had taken off spectacularly. It handled over $40 billion in transactions every year, serving 8 of the world's top 20 e-commerce companies. Just 2 weeks earlier, private investors had closed a deal valuing StreamPay at $2.8 billion. Her 47% ownership stake? Worth $1.3 billion. And in exactly 3 hours and 40 minutes, Forbes would publish its annual Self-Made Billionaires Under 40 list. Lila's name sat proudly at number 7, the youngest woman on the list. So, you're basically unemployed, a young associate joked. Living the dream in pajamas. Something like that, Lila replied unfazed. Her mother joined, smiling too tightly. Lila, sweetheart, Ethan and Amanda are looking at houses in Westchester. Maybe it's time you found something stable too. A steady job, benefits, a retirement plan. I have stability, Mom. I mean a real job, honey. Her father called from across the room. Ethan, tell them about the Davenport merger. And once again, everyone turned toward her brother. Ethan launched into his story, the crowd hanging on every word. Lila stood quietly, sipping champagne, invisible as usual. She just sits at home on her laptop. She overheard Ethan brag to a colleague. I told her we have a marketing department at the firm. She'd fit right in. Lila checked her watch. 9:17 p.m. 2 hours, 43 minutes. The countdown to revelation had begun. Amanda floated toward her with a glass of white wine. Lila, are you still single? Yes. I have a friend in IT, nice guy, steady job, great benefits. Lila smiled politely. Thanks, but I'm focused on my company. Oh, your little project, Amanda said sweetly. You should think long-term. You're 32, you need security. Lila's phone buzzed. A message from her CFO. Forbes confirmed midnight. Get ready for fireworks. She slipped it back in her purse, smiling faintly. What's funny? Ethan asked, joining them. Just work stuff. Work, he repeated with exaggerated air quotes. Dad can get you an interview at his firm's corporate office. I don't need an interview, Ethan. Pride doesn't pay bills. Look, I'm building a future. Partner, house, wife, wealth. What are you building on that laptop? You'd be surprised, Lila murmured. Judge Caroline Henderson joined their circle, elegant in emerald silk. Ethan, congratulations. Your parents must be thrilled. They are, Ethan said, grinning. My little sister's still finding her path, but she'll get there. And what do you do, Lila? The judge asked. I run StreamPay. We handle online payment processing. The judge's eyes widened. StreamPay? I know that name. My firm cites your systems as industry standards. Ethan laughed awkwardly. Billions, really? Over 40 billion annually, Lila said evenly. Amanda scoffed. If that were true, we'd have heard about it. You're hearing about it now, Judge Henderson replied coolly. StreamPay is massive. My daughter's in venture capital. They just raised a huge round. We were acquired, actually, Lila said. Private equity. 2 weeks ago. Valued at $2.8 billion. Silence fell like glass breaking. $2.8 billion, her father whispered. I own 47%, Lila continued. So, roughly $1.3 billion. Ethan's mouth opened, closed, then opened again. You're a billionaire? As of 2 weeks ago. Amanda blinked rapidly. That's impossible. It'd be in the news. Lila checked her watch again. It will be at midnight. Trevor, the young associate, dropped his glass. It shattered across the marble. You're on Forbes? Yes. Number 7. Her father stared at her like she'd turned into someone else. How did we not know? Because you never asked, Lila said softly. For 6 years, you've introduced me as someone who does something with technology. You never once asked what that something was. Her mother tried to speak. You thought I wasn't successful because it didn't look like Ethan's kind of success, she said. No law degree, no office, no briefcase, just a laptop at home. Judge Henderson smiled faintly. You revolutionized fintech, Miss Cole. Your encryption protocols changed the industry. Thank you. My team's brilliant. Why didn't you tell us? Ethan asked, his voice cracking. I did in my own way, she replied. You just never listened. Every time I mentioned expansion, clients, or growth, you dismissed it. Amanda frowned. That's not fair. It is, Lila said quietly. You decided long ago that Ethan was the star, and I was the confused one. Her father protested weakly. We only wanted the best for you. Then you should have believed me when I said I was doing fine. She paused. Last Thanksgiving, you toasted Ethan's promotion. I mentioned we'd partnered. With Amazon, you said that's nice, and asked Ethan another question. The silence that followed was unbearable. At Christmas, Lila continued, I told you we'd process 10 billion in transactions that year. Mom, you suggested law school. Her mother's eyes glistened. I was trying to help. You were trying to fix me, she said gently. But I wasn't broken. Her phone buzzed again, 11:47 p.m., 13 minutes. The article goes live at midnight, she said. Your phones will start exploding soon. Jesus, Ethan muttered. I can't believe this. Trevor approached awkwardly. I'm sorry for calling you unemployed. That was stupid. Apology accepted. Judge Henderson looked thoughtful. May I ask, why come tonight? You knew this would overshadow your brother's night. Because he's still my brother, Lila said. And I'm proud of him. Success isn't competition. For the first time, Ethan's voice softened. I've been an ass. Yes, she said simply. But I accept your apology. At 11:58 p.m., phones began buzzing. Someone gasped, It's live. Screens lit up across the room. Forbes, Lila Cole, founder of StreamPay, net worth $1.3 billion. The murmurs turned into awe. People who'd ignored her now crowded around. Miss Cole, incredible work. Gerald exclaimed. Didn't realize your company was that big. No harm done, she replied. She found Ethan standing alone by the window, staring at his phone. Sorry your party got hijacked, she said softly. Don't be, he said. My sister's a billionaire. That's something to celebrate. Different paths, same pride, she said. He nodded slowly. I mocked you. I was wrong. You didn't know because you didn't ask. Her parents joined, eyes full of shock and regret. We owe you an apology, her father said. We clung to old definitions of success. Her mother took her hand, trembling. We should have believed you. I forgive you, Lila said gently. But I needed your faith before the headlines, not after. The rest of the night blurred. Reporters called. Investors texted congratulations. The ballroom buzzed with talk of fintech innovation. Ethan's party had become hers, but she wished it hadn't. At 2 in the morning, Ethan found her on the balcony overlooking the sleeping city. "Thank you for coming," he said quietly. "And for not rubbing it in." "You're my brother," she said. "That's what matters." "Coffee next week?" "I'd like that." A week later, they met at a quiet cafe. Ethan had a notebook open, pen ready. "Tell me about your company," he said earnestly. "The encryption, the tech, the scale, I want to understand." She smiled. "You really want to know?" "For the first time, yes." She explained everything, the sleepless nights, the coding marathons, the years of being underestimated. Ethan listened, eyes wide, scribbling notes. "This is brilliant," he said finally. "I had no idea." "You're asking now," she said softly. "That's what matters." For the first time in years, they talked without rivalry. No comparisons, no condescension, just respect. Lila realized it wasn't about the $1 billion anymore. It was about finally being seen. At home that night, she scrolled through the Forbes article. Beneath her photo was the caption, "Lila Cole, redefining modern finance." But what she loved most wasn't the number beside her name. It was the message from Ethan that appeared moments later. "Proud of you, sis. Always should have been." Tears welled as she typed back. Different paths, same pride. For years, she'd been the invisible one. The girl behind a screen. The afterthought at family dinners. Now, her story was proof that success didn't have a uniform. It didn't always wear a suit or carry a briefcase. Sometimes it wore pajamas and built empires quietly. As dawn broke over the city, Lila closed her laptop and smiled. The world finally knew her name, but more importantly, her family finally understood her worth. Real success, she realized, wasn't measured in money or titles. It was measured in being truly seen. If you value stories of respect, dignity, and justice, please subscribe. It means more than you know, and it lets me keep sharing the lessons life has carved into me.